the reports about Cohen still wanting to have that final say. We're getting now down to it, my friend. It's going to be 24, 48 hours here with Juan Soto. He's going to make a decision, and I don't know if there's anybody that would be clear favorites at this particular point.
It's a lot of flip of the coins at this point, Sal, and it looks like the Red Sox want another meeting as well in person to put their best foot forward. So,
which was based off of, by the way, an erroneous report about Cohen spending. Remember, there was a report that said Cohen will go $50 million more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is, BS. According to people who I trust, that is BS. And now it doesn't mean that he won't, but I don't know where people are getting that info from. Based off of that, the Red Sox are like, whoa, we want a meeting. Make sure we get a meeting and tell us how much you want. Mm-hmm. It's insane what's going to happen.
I think this is the last show that we do without knowing where Juan Soto's going.
Right.
I really do. I mean, I think there's a great chance it happens tomorrow. I'd be a little surprised if they drop it in the middle of an NFL Sunday. I don't think they'll dump it today. Friday, generally a news dump day. I feel like tomorrow's the day. Listen, I think he's going to be a Yankee. I'm obviously, like everybody else, I'm not certain. I do think that the Mets will, listen, by the way, he could be going to the Mets, but right now, if I'm right and he's going to be a Yankee, I think the Mets could throw a last-second Hail Mary that really shakes the foundation of what Juan Soto wants to do. I think that's absolutely in play. I'm not worried about the Dodgers. I was worried about the Red Sox early this week. That's dissipated that fear. I think it's the Yanks or the Mets.
Yeah, so we're back down to it. All these months, all these weeks, all these days talking about it. And look, anything could happen. I do think the Red Sox are serious about trying to get him. I don't think he's serious about wanting to. I just don't believe it. Maybe that is a shocker. Who the hell knows at this point? But I would say that, remember yesterday I was a little uneasy, a little on edge, a little nervous.
You see like you're a little stabilized today.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back.
I told you I had to sift through my emotions. But yeah, once Jack Curry confirmed that the Yankees don't have final say, once Heyman then doubled down on that, I think that leveled again the playing field to me. And with the playing field being leveled, I still think at the end of the day, Steve Cohen's going to have the highest offer. I also still believe, by the way, the Mets should operate the way I was saying yesterday. That doesn't change anything. Enough's enough. I mean, Cohen can't get played here. If he comes out without Juan Soto, he's going to look foolish more so than anybody else. Nobody's going to rip the Red Sox if they don't get him, or the Blue Jays or the Dodgers. Cohen has the most to lose if they don't get him, and he looks like a fool for getting played because Soto goes back to the Yankees, let's say, for less money. Yep. If the Yankees lose him, it's going to be because they didn't want to go to whatever extent, and maybe some people like yourself will say, wow, he's not worth $700 million or $725.
I don't think he is. Certainly not 750 or 8, which was creeping into the equation yesterday, which is just sheer lunacy for me.
So maybe Hal gets a little pass in that regard. I still think he should get ripped, but I think Cohen has a lot to lose here, looking yet again like he could get played. So for me, I would give him an ultimatum. I don't care who the player is. I'm doing it on my terms. I want you. Here's the offer. Make a damn decision already. Otherwise, I'm moving on. Now, we're down to it, so what's the point another day here?
Yep.
But I still would act firm if I'm the Mets and Steve Cohen.
Yeah, that was your thing yesterday, and I understood where you were coming from. Maybe under a different understanding of where the process was at that point, because we got some news later in the day that you just referenced where there were some clarifications. Here's the bottom line, and here's the problem with social media. I don't want to just always rail on social media, because social media is pretty good in certain regards, and I lean into it. You lean into it. You have to. It's a way to get traction for our show, for our station, for our opinions. It's part of the world that we live in. But it's dangerous in the sense, it's just dangerous. But pertaining to sports, it's dangerous in the sense that there are so many people out there, and I don't mean Jack Curry, and I don't mean Heyman. There are so many people that are just desperate for clicks, that whether it's an aggregation, whether it's a very, very loose innuendo that they somehow turn into a loose report that people run with. Let's call it for what it is. And I'm not going to start naming names. Nobody knows what I would say of the two people that Curry and Heyman are at the top, and Passan are at the top of my list in terms of those who know what's going on. I think everybody else, not everybody, but a lot of the other people are just being tricked and being played.
Well, it's why I trust Andy Martino, because he said exactly what you just said, BT. Nobody knows anything. Here's a reporter, instead of looking for an angle to get you to bite, is saying anybody who says anything, he's saying the same thing you just said.
He's being honest.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody who says that they know something, lying. This is false, that's false. It came from this, that, blah, 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 all those different things. So the reporters that we trust follow them, and they don't know what's going on. And to your point, I referenced it before about Carlos Mendoza's son. I guess it was on TikTok or something where somebody posted about the Red Sox, and they were hoping to have the final offer, or they wanted to make and he comments for some reason. And again, I don't even know who his son is. I'm seeing this stuff is now news. You got to be smarter than that if you're a member.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's just an idiotic thing. But to your point, like, what do you think? That wasn't going to get picked up and become newsworthy from a lot of different points, even if it's not legitimate, just a talking point. You are Carlos Mendoza's son, which means that people will think you have some kind of information, whether he does or doesn't. And he's talking about how the Mets have offered him 15 years, $700 million. I mean, again, I don't know what to believe, but like the idea that the manager's son, that's not a good look.
That's a horrendous look. You got to reel him in. And then when you actually click on the comment that it takes you to his profile, which it does, we were doing it this morning. Pat Boyd was showing us the TikTok. It's it's apparently his son taking infield with Lindor, and there was something else, maybe with his dad. I don't know. But yeah, you're going to get a lot of that, and that's just irresponsible. And if that was my son, I mean, could you imagine if that was our dad's? Maybe a better way to say it, the way my dad is, and the way your dad was. Yeah. Oh, my God. I think that right now, if I can get back to the emotions of the Yankee and the Met fan base, forget about the other 2-3 teams that are involved right now. And until they're not involved, they're still involved, so you got to keep them in a little bit. But for us, I think, I got to be honest, Sal, I think that there's been a bit of an awakening within the Yankee fan base where, of course, they want him because he's terrific at two things. But I also think that there's a fairly broad, a sizable chunk of the Yankee fans who are okay with a plan B because plan B will bring more options, and the Yankees need a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Soto's still the best option. I do ultimately think that either fan base will pivot. Okay, didn't get Soto, what's next? There's still a lot of big names out there.
You don't have a choice. You got to pivot.
Yeah, I know. Go build this team. It's just still Soto's the guy. I'm not going to couch it. It's going to hurt. For me, it would kill me if I were a Yankee fan that they lost Juan Soto wherever he goes. You're the Yankees. You shouldn't be losing Soto just brought into the World Series. Or from a Mets perspective, the one guy, the white whale the Mets are supposed to be chasing here for years. If they can't land him, who could they land? But we will have plenty of time to react. Today, like you said, might be the last day that we can anticipate and guess.
We could all be happy today.
So before we get back to the calls, off of the latest reports from yesterday, since we last left, where are you at percentage-wise? Soto signing where?
Okay, so I'm going to make the assumption that these reports, these checks on reports are correct. I believe that, like what Jack weighed in. I'm going to lean on that now and say, all right, that seems to be fairly accurate. I'm going to downgrade my number from yesterday, which was around 70%. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, that certainly emboldened me. Like, if you think that before these guys chimed in and said, oh, that's not necessarily true, that the Yankees won't necessarily have the... Okay, so go back to before that report came out. It's common sense to sit there and say, he was a Yankee, he got to the World Series, had his best offensive season ever in terms of home runs and some other stuff. Judge behind him was awesome. He felt the power of the Bronx. And now the Yankees will have the chance to make the last offer? How could you not think that Soto's doing everything to give the Yankees the best chance to keep him?
Correct.
Okay, so that's why yesterday I jumped from about 45, 50 to 70. Yeah. I'm going to downgrade about 10%.
Okay.
I lost a little steam with that. Not to the point where it's impacting me because I'm okay either way with a plan B, although I prefer Soto. 60%. How about you?
So wait, Yanks 60.
Yep.
Mets.
I think I'm going to say Mets. I can't say 40. Okay, 39.
That's what I wanted to get
39.
to. So you're eliminating basically the Red Sox and Jays.
Listen, you always leave that door ajar just in case Toronto, Red Sox, Dodgers, something wacky, but I believe it's a two-team race, and I pretty much always thought that, except for 2 days where I was worried about the Red Sox.
I'll go 90% Mets,
Ooh.
10% Yankees.
By the way, sick satin
thanks.
Knicks jacket today.
No, we're rocking the Knicks jacket today. All right. I still feel BT it's happening. And the only thing that will be sweeter than it happening at some point from today, 10 a.m. or right now till 2 p.m. would be tomorrow. We're hanging out together with all the guys at the Fan of the Islanders suite.
That would be dangerous.
I just want it to happen when you and I are together.
Oh, my God. And I don't want it like at the opening when they drop the puck. I want, get a little lubed up here, a couple drinks in the system. Okay? You got all the lunatics in the suite. It is a clear...
You think it happens tomorrow?
What's that?
You think... Tomorrow comes down.
I feel like it is going to happen tomorrow. Now, I'm trying to will this to happen while we're together.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily feel that, but probably not. But for the reasons I said, I don't think they're going to dump this on an NFL Sunday. I don't see it today.
I think we might get it late today.
Late today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I don't think we're getting it early tomorrow. Generally, these West Coast things, like for whatever, Boris on the West Coast, so maybe late Friday night, you start to get some rumblings.
So like 7 o'clock here, it's 4 o'clock there.
And if not, then I do think there's a good chance it happens tomorrow when we're hanging out at the Islander game. All right, BT and Sal on the Fan or Fred's at Town Fair Tire. Remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Chief is calling from Cherry Hill. What's up, Chief?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys today?
Great. What's up?
What's happening, buddy?
Okay, I'm a diehard Yankees fan here, and, just listening to all the talk, especially from you guys, I just want to say you guys have covered this from every angle possible. You guys have covered it tremendous, in my opinion.
Thank you.
But that being said, if the Yankees don't get Soto, I'm at the point, I think I'm like Brandon at this point. I'm fine with Plan B. If the numbers that are coming out right now, which I know we've all said that nobody knows anything, but if the numbers are coming out that it's closer to 700 or above 700, I'm nervous the Yankees won't do much after that. And if that's all they're going to do, as much as I love Soto, and it was great watching him in the Bronx this year, it's not worth it because look at it a couple years down the line. I mean, who do we have? We have some guys coming up, but we don't know what they're going to turn out to be. We have so many holes to fill. I would love to get, if we don't get him, let's get Adames, let's get Walker. I'd love the Tanner Scott, the reliever from the Marlins. Just get a number of pieces to fix this team because if this is going to be the one big move and then we get one more iffy move, it's not worth it for me.
Let me throw something at you, buddy. And I agree, right? Forget about Juan Soto. Forget about the names for a moment. Just think about a baseball lineup, right? The Yankees had 2 locks a year ago, and most of the season, 7 question marks, okay? So you've got a way out, even though those 2 locks were basically all-time. What's better, 2 all-time locks and 7 or 1 all-time lock and 5 solids? I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I say I'd rather go with the second option because, let's be real, when we go to a game last year and, it's the 4th, 5th inning and the number 5, 6, and 7 hitters are coming up, you're going to get a drink. You're going to go to the bathroom because there's nothing to watch in many of the games.
Right, but Chief, why can't it be, and thank you for the call, and we do appreciate the kind words, why can't it be both?
Well, because we don't think, and he prefaced it with, we don't think, and I would agree, that if they get Soto, there's a lot more coming. That's baked into my opinion.
Yeah, understood. But
has to be.
But that's a big problem.
Well, but that's a different discussion.
And by the way, if they lose Soto, there's no guarantee. I think the sentiment is, okay, well, they lose Soto and they're just going to go get everybody else. Well, not necessarily. Who's to say that? What if Christian Walker signs with the Mariners?
I hear you.
Or he doesn't want to be in New York. Who knows? Or whatever. Max Fried wants to stay with the Braves. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. Or Boston goes hard for Corbin Burns. Then what? All of a sudden, your plan B went from getting 4 or 5 guys to, all we have is one guy, Willy Adames. And guess what? As much as I love Willy Adames, if you lose Juan Soto and bring Willy Adames in, you're not getting better.
No, but that's why you do your due diligence. Now, listen, the next Zoom call that goes poorly will be the first.
Yeah.
So-and-so connected with Burns. It was great. Max Fried, phenomenal. We get it. It's business. Everybody's putting their best foot forward right now. But I think that the reason you do this, and it seems like the Yanks have done a good job of keeping some real vital irons in the fire while they focus on their big guy with Soto. But if Soto falls through, it looks like they're equipped to pivot fast.
Tyrone is in Newark. What's up, Tyrone?
Yo.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I got something to say, man. Now, look, all this stuff sounds good. Now, just hold on. Now, the Mets had an unbelievable season last year, right? Something that usually, right. But now, can we depend on that again?
No.
That we already got them almost basically. We throwing lineups out there and all this. The Yankees had Soto last year. They still fell short. So what did you guys for real, man? Well, and then look, wait one second.
But what's the point, Tyrone? I'm just confused as to what you're getting at.
The point is, you guys overdo it.
Who's you guys? When you say you guys, you're talking about BT?
You same Jet fans who had us in the Super Bowl.
Oh, hold on.
Hey,
but Tyrone, again, when you say you guys, are you talking about BT and me, or are you talking about Met fans?
I'm talking about Jet fans, Met fans,
Well, the
Yankee
Jets-
fans.
okay, but
you guys do this all the time, man.
Okay.
And we never end up with none of this stuff.
Well,
Watch
I mean,
what happens. I'm gonna call you back.
But-
watch, I'm telling you, I'm gonna call you back.
Well, where do you
because
think he
I know
goes?
you. I know.
Where do you think Soto goes then?
Wait, you know what? To be honest with you, I think he might stay with the Yankees, but
Okay.
I don't think. But it ain't like it. But then what? Who guaranteeing anything?
Yeah, well, but
Because of the
Tyrone,
fact
hold on
they
one
had
second,
him
bud.
last
I
year.
got you.
What happened?
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for the call, man. But that's why when you say you guys, that's why we're trying to differentiate between whether it's our show, whether it's others on social media.
Yeah.
Because me and Sal are saying two very different things. So, yeah, I think that there's a better chance than not that they retain Juan Soto. I want Juan Soto to stay for the 1 gazillion time. But if Juan Soto comes and they don't do anything, I can promise you they're not winning the World Series.
And by the way,
they're not winning the World Series.
And I'd say the same thing about the Mets. Like, I want Juan Soto from the Mets perspective as well, but if it's just Juan Soto and they let Alonso walk and they don't bring back Manaea, it's a problem too.
But who's got more confidence that their team will do more? You do, and you should.
Well, we'll do more. Yes.
If you get Soto.
Yes.
In addition to.
Right. And I also think that is a good conversation that maybe we could have when we come back. Let's say each team loses Soto. I have confidence the Mets will try to do more, but it doesn't mean that it will work better than maybe what the Yankees could do, because the Mets have, if they don't get Juan Soto, they have a long way to go to get back to where they were last year.
Yes.
And then on top of that, the Yankees, all right, let's say they lose Juan Soto. Obviously, it's going to be hard to replace him, but to me, they're closer than the Mets are. So there's a lot of work to do. But
are they closer without Soto? Well, I still think they are, but maybe not as much as.
Yes, but I don't trust them as much to spend as much the way that I do Steve Cohen. So I think there's a lot of different layers here from each side of it. We'll continue with your calls as well. 888-808-1019, BT and Sal on the Fan.